Hello! Today I'm doing a reading for July and I've already done the reading for the next 3 months, the Cancer season, the Leo season and the Virgo season, but I thought, well, why not just make a July reading, just for fun, just for practice. So what I concentrated on here was the general energy for this month, then the challenges and the lessons that we will be learning this month. Okay, so let's start with the tarot cards. So for the general energy, we have the Three of Swords in reverse, the Five of Cups in reverse, and the Knight of Pentacles. This is interesting because this card already showed up before in the astrological summer reading, the last one I've done. So the way I see this energy is that if there was any heartbreak that happened before, you will be coming out of it this month. And this is actually highlighted here with this Rhodo Cross-Eyed card. But with the Three of Swords, yes, like if you can see all the swords, I feel like they are falling out. So rather than experiencing the heartbreak, you are healing it. It will be time when, yeah, these swords will come out of your heart and you will be able to heal all the wounds. And I feel like the Five of Cups in reverse also is showing this. So in reverse, it's talking about coming out of this lack mentality, because in the other deck, there are 5 cups and 3 of them have spilled over. And the person is concentrating on the cups that spilled over rather than the ones that are still there. So we are coming out of this mentality. So instead of thinking, okay, something didn't work out, some relationship or some connection failed and it brought us pain, we will move out of that energy. I feel like it's a pretty good energy, these two cards combined. I feel like it is leaving that heartbreak, maybe not leaving, but healing and recognizing that something has ended, that sometimes things have to finish, and being able to see what else is there, being able to recognize there's more than just this connection or this person in our life. And with this King of Pentacles, it looks like there will be somebody coming with an offer. It's not going to happen straight away because this energy is quite slow moving, it's really practical. But I feel like it is some sort of opportunity, some sort of tangible offer. And I feel like if you let this go, if you let go of that energy of loss, then you will make room for something new. And I feel like this is that Knight of Pentacles. Then we're going on to challenges this month. So we have the Seven of Cups, the Page of Cups, and the Four of Swords in reverse. So I feel that the challenge will be all these different choices that you will have, but then it can cause you to feel a bit burnt out, feeling really anxious, feeling like you can't rest because there's so much to choose from that you just don't know what to do. There's so many possibilities that instead of focusing on one thing, you spend your energy on all of them, thinking, okay, maybe if I do this, or if I do that, or if I do that. And that's why you can feel really tired. With this Page of Cups, I feel like there might be creative opportunities here, or some sort of news from other people. So you might be thinking where to invest your energy, but instead of investing it in one thing, you will divide it into all these different cups, which can make you feel really tired. So there's a lot going on here. And I feel like, yeah, the challenge is to choose wisely and to preserve your energy, not to just let it seep out. In terms of the lessons, we have Five of Wands, the Six of Swords, and the King of Pentacles. So for me, it looks like the lesson here is when to fight, when it is okay to have some sort of conflict, and when it's better to move on. Because with this card, you can see all these people are fighting, and maybe it's not a super, life or death fight, but there's still this energy of moving back and forth, of trying to just get your point across. But is it worth it? Maybe sometimes it's better to be like, okay, I'm done with things here, and I don't want to be here with all these choppy waters. I want to be in this calm place, so I don't have to worry about, somebody attacking me all of a sudden. And here I see with this King of Pentacles, this maybe focusing or on physical stuff, on security, material security in particular. So if in terms of the lesson, I feel like, deciding whether you want to keep fighting or whether you want to move on. And the reason why you decide this is based on your foundations, on your material security, whether you have enough resources, whether you can actually manage, because sometimes this sort of fight takes up a lot of your time that you could use in some other way that could benefit you. But fighting just for the sake of fighting, that can be a bit, a waste of time. So here the lesson is just deciding what is better for you, whether it's wise to move on or keep fighting. Sometimes it's good to fight, of course, for the things that are important to you. So if you have to fight for this financial stability, it's fine if it's important for you. But if you feel that it's draining you, that there's too much going on, just like here, then I feel like it's better to move on to something more stable. Then with the other cards here, I wanted to focus on this one, on the Road of Cross-eyed. I always like when this card shows up, and with the Three of Swords and the Five of Cups both in reverse, I feel like it really talks about healing that heart space. So if there was any heartbreak in the past, maybe somebody disappointed you, you feel like you have been betrayed, or even if it's nothing that extreme, still learning how to assimilate these difficult emotions, these painful endings, and forgiving the person, but still not letting them hurt you again. So you're learning how to accept all those difficult emotions and how to move forward, so that now you know what it feels like, now you know how to deal with it, so you can go on to the next lesson. You don't have to keep dwelling on the past. You don't have to just keep, touching these swords, being like, oh well, it happened to me, and because of that you still keep, irritating the heart. You keep living in the past, and it shouldn't be like this. It's time to pull out the swords, let the heart heal, and move on. That's why I feel like we have the soft card here. I feel like if something like this did happen recently, then, well, your heart is still soft, it's still very fragile, it's vulnerable, and you should take time to approach it. You should give yourself patience, you should give yourself some love and understanding. It will pass, but for now, it might be a bit soft. It might feel like, okay, even the slightest thing makes it sore, or it reminds you of the past. So here I would just be patient and understanding, because I'm sure if that would happen to somebody else, you would be very compassionate and understanding. But sometimes when it's about ourselves, we tend to be quite harsh, and we are like, oh well, it's my fault that it happened, or oh well, I should just move on. But it's a process, so remember to just take it in your own time. Then next, let me think. I feel like the Phenomenal card and the Supermoon in reverse. So it says emotions are running high, but it's in reverse. So in a way, it might be that you don't recognize these intense emotions, or it might be that you are overemphasizing them. So maybe something is not as serious as you think it is, and you might think, okay, it's something phenomenal, it's something so great, and it's something so big, but in reality it's not as important. I mean, of course it can be a good thing, it can be a bad thing, because if it's serious and then ignoring it, of course it's not a good thing. But if you keep focusing on one topic and you really blow it out of proportion, then also that's not good. It changes the balance. So I would say just make sure that you are in touch with your emotions, in touch with yourself, so that you won't give in to this supermoon. Because when the supermoon appears, see, it takes up most of the card, and it just happens every once in a while. So maybe it's an illusion, maybe it's not the way you think it is. So I would just watch that out, so that you don't overemphasize certain things. Then with these two cards we have it says move the lazy person and presence, and it's both in reverse. And here it makes me think of this really how should I say this, like physical approach to life. So you have somebody lazy and you want to move that person, but it's in reverse. And you have presents, and presents are a really nice thing. You can give a gift to someone, because it's nice to give. But in reverse, I feel like it's too much of a focus on the material side. So perhaps with this King of Pentacles, you're learning how to have enough to feel safe, but not focusing on it so much that the physical safety, that the money and the objects are the most important thing in your life. Because of course it's nice to enjoy some time off, just, I don't know, lying on the sofa or buying yourself something nice. But then when it gets out of control, when you rely on it, when you feel a bit down and you say, okay, I'll buy something for myself, then it's as if you use the objects or, I don't know, food or anything like that to cope with your emotions. And instead of focusing on them, understanding them, you just shove all these physical objects on it, and it's not gonna make it go away. So I would watch that. When you look for comfort, especially, with all this here, all this heartbreak, all those difficulties, you might resort to, buying stuff or just taking a break. And that's completely fine, but it's just about knowing when it's too much. So knowing that fine line. Then just coming back to the servant, I didn't talk about it yet, but here it makes me think of serving yourself. Of course, serving other people, it's something great. I mean, here it says delight in serving others with a free and loving heart. And when you offer your time, when you offer your energy to people who are in need, then of course it's a beautiful thing. But I feel like sometimes you should shift the focus to yourself and focus on yourself first, so that you will heal whatever wounds you have. So then if somebody asks you for help, then you know how to approach it. You don't help others just to shift that energy onto them, because sometimes when we have some problems, we might help others because they will give us this validation, or they will give us this self-value, that you help them and you think, oh yes, I'm a good person, and that's why you help them. It's not, you have some sort of agenda in this. So I would serve yourself first. And just for the shadow attribute, it says using the lack of money as an excuse not to move forward with life. So I feel like sometimes when you focus so much on helping others that you forget about yourself, that's where all your energy goes and you have nothing left for yourself. So when you establish this core that you know who you are, you know your value, and then based on that you help others, this will allow you to move on with your life and also help people at the same time. You're not going to get stuck helping others all the time just because it makes you feel better about yourself. If you feel really confident in yourself, then you don't really need other people to give you that energy, and then you can help just like that unconditionally. And I think that is something important here. And then we have these two cards. I mean, we have darkness and death. And yeah, it was interesting when I had the death pop out. It's always interesting to see how the cards work out. So with the darkness card, I feel like you might have gone through some darkness. You might go through it right now when you're trying to heal. And it just made me feel, it made me think of animals when they are hurting or when they have to heal. They would retreat into some quiet place. So I feel like it might feel dark. It might feel like, there's death lurking around in that darkness. But, you need the darkness to appreciate the light. So I feel like if you are going through some difficult times, if you're going through that healing process, then just think that that's what it is. It's a process. It's not like it's going to be dark all the time. And with that death card, it highlights that transformation, that something has ended, but something new will begin, of course. And if it ended, then it had to end. There's no point hanging on to things that are dead, basically. So it might relate to any relationship or connection you had. And I know sometimes it's more comfortable to hang on to things and people that you know, even if it's not entirely good for you, because you think, oh well, it's better this way because that's what I'm used to, it's my comfort zone. But actually, if it's not for your highest good, then a transformation will happen. And I feel like it will make you stronger, because then once you know the light and the darkness, then you will be more powerful, you will be able to see each side. It will be more balanced. So some sort of transformation happening. Or it might be that it's happening within you that you don't see it yet. And it will come to light eventually, but for now, it's dark. But remember that always, even the darkest night, it will eventually end and you'll have the dawn and something new will start. And this death card, I mean this one in particular, it's kind of, I don't want to say funny, but the way the face is, laughing, it's not as bad, because the death card can be seen as so depressing and so negative, but it's just an ending. New things will appear, and I'm sure they will be phenomenal. You just have to, you cannot resist this darkness, because it might be really scary, because you cannot see things properly, it's really confusing, but you have to trust the process, and eventually the light will appear. And then if you see, let me check if I can see it in the camera. So just here at the bottom of the deck we had the Four of Swords in reverse as well, so I thought it really highlights this energy of being exhausted and burnt out, and that you really need a rest, because in the upright position this is, you can see this person just taking a rest in some sanctuary, and it's time to recover. But in reverse, I feel like it's not possible, that recovery is blocked for some reason. And this is the challenge, just to see what is blocking it. Maybe it's too many different options. And then now that I see that 8 of Cups at the bottom of the deck, yeah, it's in the other deck, it's a person who leaves 7, oh no, was it 8 Cups? Yeah, it's 8 Cups, and search for something more. So once you heal this heartbreak and you will move out of this energy of loss, then maybe you will move on in search of something more. Because 9 of Cups is the wish fulfillment card. So for now it might feel kind of difficult with all this darkness and death and these 2 cards and fighting as well, but I feel like it is necessary. Actually, let me check what's coming next, just so that there's some more information. So let me just shuffle the cards. Okay, so let's see what energies are coming next. Just maybe 1 or 2 cards. Yeah, 5 of Pentacles, that's good. It's walking out of this, yeah, it's 5 here as well, 5 of Cups, 5 of Pentacles. So if you had this sort of poverty mindset, if you felt like, oh, I don't deserve this, and it's not for me, you're moving out of this. So I feel like this is really positive. Let's get one more. What are we moving towards? What sort of energy are we moving towards? Just one more card. Okay, let's take this one. 10 of Pentacles. That's really good. Yeah, and actually here we have 10 of Pentacles as well, but it's in reverse. But I'll take this one. I think it's quite nice energy. So 10 of Pentacles. So moving from 5 to 10. So that's really good. So if you felt like you are not enough, there was some heartbreak, you were really sad that those 3 cups have spilled, you're moving on from this energy. You are moving on into these 10 of Pentacles, which I think is great. And it's about foundations, it's about having everything. We can see this old man here. There's, I don't know if it's a castle or whatever, a nice building. There's probably his family, child, dogs. So everything that you want in the physical sense. So I feel like it's stability, financial security, feeling really comfortable and feeling happy that you've achieved this with hard work. So yeah, I feel like it's really good. Just you have to go through this transformation because you definitely deserve more than those 5 of Cups and the 3 of Swords. It might be tough, but once you heal, once you serve yourself, that's when you will have time and the energy to move out of this poverty mindset and move into something much greater, to something that where you will feel fulfilled. And then you won't have to rely on all these physical objects to make you feel good, because inside you will be feeling like, okay, I am worthy of things and all the best comes to me. So it will come, because if you think, I don't deserve this, it's not for me, or okay, I'm not good enough for this, then that's what sort of energy you send out to the world, and that's what you will get. But if you move out of this mindset, actually I've heard that in terms of astrology, once this astrologer told me about this poverty programming, so it's almost like you get this from your parents, that they're like, oh no, we just have to constantly keep saving things because we can't use them up, and it's in your mind that there's not enough. But if you move on from that, if you believe, yes, there is enough, there's enough of love, there's enough of money, there's enough of whatever you want for me, then you'll be able to get this. So I feel like that's it for July. That looks like some good energy here. What are we moving towards? So yeah, that's it for today. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!